Life is the force on this planet. Life, evolution is the truth of this planet. This planet was not created out of a magical act, an instant coffee act of 7 days, as is told in the Old Testament. It's not possible to create a planet with tens of millions of species in 7 days. These are tales of storytellers at the time where humanity was a lot more backwards than it is today. Life as a divinity has no name. We have worshipped all kinds of gods, but we've never worshipped or be appreciative or had honor for life, which is really the force that has progressed to our humanity. Life is not so successful. I admit it. Life is not such a great God. Life has failed. Humanity is a failure. Our lives are bitter. Most humans don't live very good lives. Our mental defects are severe. The leadership is thieving. Right? Life is lost in loving death instead of life itself. Life has been a failure. Imagine 4.5 billion years the Earth is, measured by scientific equipment, carbon dating, metrics. There's 4 or 5 ways of measuring the age of stones, and it all points to the fact that the rocks on this planet are 4.5 billion years old, right? So it's not 5,000 years as is described in the Bibles, when it was thought even that the earth was flat. The earth is not flat. And therefore, you can be praying to God, the spirit in the sky, looking down, and you could be praying to the sky anyway. You can be praying to Satan, and you could be on the other side of the earth praying to the sky. The sky is all around the earth. The sky is not on top of the earth. So this was something that was foreign to the early prophets who were looking for the truth. Evolution is very difficult. Creation is very easy. Right? Creation is instant coffee. Right? Evolution is like the evolution of a building, of a skyscraper. Right? Suppose a skyscraper can take 20 years. It could take 25 years to build it, because you have to get the money, you have to get the workers, you have to get the stuff that there could be errors. Evolving a skyscraper, building a skyscraper takes a long time. Building species takes an even longer time. Right? Species come out of other species. A small bird who is wounded can evolve and mutate into an eagle, which is how the eagle came about. The eagle did not come from a creator. The eagle came from a bird that was so wrecked in the jungle that it developed, right, abilities to become powerful and strong and no longer be bossed around or beaten around. That's how life works. Life is very difficult. Producing something in real life is a lot more difficult than producing it in fantasy. And the Bibles are very good with fantasy. They're not good with real life. Sometimes life, in order to advance, is capable of anything. Eating itself as the food chain. Billions of souls are sent to a place to accomplish one task, to advance 1 inch. Look at the adventures of the sperm. Millions of sperm are sent to look for the ova or the egg, and only one sperm finds it. And once that sperm finds it, what happens to all the other sperm? They all die off. Life is this kind of thing. Life is a David and Goliath type of game. Life is the David and death is the Goliath. This is what life evolution is about, and that's why evolution is very difficult, it's very slow, and it's full of problems. And life has to cross a lot of problems. The real target of life is real immortality for the living soul through physical and mental means, which means it has to develop a body and it has to develop a mind that is immortal. And it takes millions of years. It's a very difficult process. In spirituality, where I was for 7 years, a spirituality that destroyed my life because of its dualism, its duality against the body and the animal, they sell fake immortality. Okay? Fake immortality is that the soul survives the death of the body and is still alive and roaming around and is capable of enjoyment, which is not true. The spiritual world exists. There's no question about it. I have experience of the spiritual world, but the spiritual world has a function in the evolution of life. The spiritual world is not the source of anything. It's just a kind of cemetery, a junkyard of souls that are dead, carcasses of souls, phantoms that are ready to come back into evolution and grow again better and better to improve life, to improve the soul, to get close to its objective, which is true immortality. True immortality is material. True immortality is not spiritual. The tradition of spiritualism is a sense that life on earth is a damnation. And therefore, like Buddha saw an old man, saw a dying man, saw all kinds of hell on the planet and decided, I got to get out of here. I got to practice meditation and get the hell out of here. And that's what spiritual meditation is. Escape, getting the hell out of here. Not solving old age or solving disease or solving death, but getting the hell out. Like a cocaine addict who wants to get the hell out of his life because his life is hell. Right? Spirituality is a kind of cocaine. It is not the truth. In Hinduism, the fifth affliction of Hinduism is called Avinevesh, which is a love of life, and is declared a problem, an affliction. The affliction is a love of life, which means if the soul loves life, the soul is afflicted. Imagine, life is divine, life is God, life is evolution, and it is a hatred of this life that brings the soul to the spirit. The spirit, therefore, damns this planet. The spirit damns life on this planet. How can the spirit improve a planet that the spirit hates? There is a tradition of damnation. There's a tradition of leaving the planet behind. There's a tradition of becoming disillusioned with life completely. That's what the soul travels. Hinduism and Buddhism are very powerful in meditation to escape life into the spirit as if the spirit is a fantastic place. You have to give up your joys and you have to give up your sufferings. If you give up your joys and if you give up your sufferings, you're stuck with what? Nothing. Well, that's what the spirit is. It's called shunyata, nothing. A vacuum, a void, a Hoover vacuum cleaner. That's what the spirit is. The spirit is unable to create anything. It cannot create anything for even its more ardent followers. The spirit cannot save its followers from problems. The spirit couldn't even save Jesus from the cross. In conclusion, life is a divinity, but it is not a divinity like the spirit is supposed to be. Life is work. It's trying to resolve problems. Life evolution brings the horse, the car, the jet, the iPod, the iPhone, better bodies, better minds. And life is not over. The human is not the last step of evolution. The human is kind of like confused. It's very mortal. It has a lot of dualities. It is very far from perfection. The soul itself is unknown in humanity. We don't work for the soul. We work for the human ego or the animal ego. We don't work for the soul. We don't understand the soul. The soul does not adult. The soul usually stays a crippled infant in humanity. And therefore, evolution needs to work to bring the soul to light.